Dan Bernick. We're going to talk a little bit about social media and the law, one of Dan's expert subject matters. And Dan, I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you, Bernard. Appreciate you having me here.
Dan, tell everybody a little bit about your practice and yourself.
Sure. Well, before we get started, I just wanted to congratulate you on being named the chairman of the Workers' Comp Committee of the Alabama Bar Association. That's quite an honor, and
I appreciate
congratulations.
That. Thank you.
My name is Daniel Bernick, B-U-R-N-I-C-K. I'm the owner of the law office of Daniel Bernick. I was in practice for over 30 years at a big law firm here in town and left at the end of last year, and I'm on my own in a solo practice and just enjoying it, having a good time, and representing a wide variety of clients in general litigation matters and employee issues.
Okay. So Dan, you're a litigator? You get in the courtroom?
I'm a litigator. I get in the courtroom whenever I can, which these days is not a whole lot. It's a lot
Right.
more discovery and mediations and depositions, and with 99% of the cases get settled before they ever get to the courtroom.
Yeah, I guess that's been the trend over the years, at least my experience, our firm's experience with cases. We want to talk a little bit about a subject we've touched on a few times in the past couple of months in these talks, and that's about social media and how the laws affect those who are involved in cases and what folks should do, shouldn't do. And I know Dan has lots of stories he can share with us because there's all kind of laws that I know he's dealt with. And Dan, I'll just let you pick it up from there and just let's go for it.
I appreciate it. One of the reasons why cases are settling even more than they used to is because of social media. And one of the first things I do when I get a new case is I Google, and I use that term generically. I search people, I search the other party, I search my client, I search the other attorney. I even search myself every 30 days just to see what's out there, because you'd be surprised what people put out there that you never know about till you actually go out and look for it.
Sure.
So there's that. When I talk about social media, it's a wide gambit of platforms. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's YouTube, Instagram, and the list goes on and on and on. And it seems like every day or two there's a new platform coming up that grows for a while then stops. Facebook just reached 2 billion users around the world. In the United States, there's 240 million people on it, and out of the population of 340, that's more than close to 60% of the people in the United States have access to Facebook. Three things I want to say just in general about social media. One is there is no expectation of privacy. If you put something on social media, it is open for the world to see. The second thing I like to say is that delete does not equal delete. Just because you delete a social media post or just because you think it's gone away, it hasn't. People save it. How many times have we seen Twitter that have gone out and somebody's got in trouble for it and tried to pull it back out, but somebody took the screenshot and they put it back out. And the last thing is, if you're involved in any type of litigation or potential litigation, whether you're a plaintiff or a defendant, anything you post on social media can and will be used against you in the courtroom. People do stupid things all the time, not understanding that it's something they shouldn't be doing.
You know, you talk about there's no expectation of privacy when you put stuff out. I was at a seminar recently where the theory was this may be the first time we've ever had a president elected via social media. And he certainly is not shy about sharing his thoughts on it.
He is not shy. And one of the things I was going to mention is in politics, the two words, Donald Trump. He's the epitome of social media, good or bad, depending upon your view of politics, but he's out there all the time doing it. I know you do a lot of workers' compensation work. There was a case where a young woman was working at a business, hurt her foot, went to the doctor. Doctor told her, keep your foot elevated, stay on crutches, don't wear high heels. Her problem was that she, on the weekends, was a beauty contestant. So she competed in a beauty pageant when she's supposed to be on crutches without wearing high heels and having her foot elevated in her bikini, walking up and down the pageant way. And she posts it on YouTube. The company finds out about it. The insurance company finds out about it. Her case ended up getting dismissed on a workers' comp case, and she was also charged criminally for making a false workers' comp claim. And Alabama has a criminal component of workers' compensation. So if you're on workers' compensation and you have restrictions, in the old days when I first started practicing law, we had private investigators go out and take videos and photographs of people doing things. Now, the injured workers oftentimes do it themselves. Whether it's going on vacation, dancing, partying, whatever the case may be. If you're not supposed to do it, don't do it. And if you do it, don't take a picture of yourself and put it up on Facebook. I've also been involved in some slip and fall cases in the last couple of years. One interesting one, this woman slipped and fell and hurt her shoulder, and she was on Facebook and went on a mission trip to South America. So she has some pictures of her in Colombia, South America, doing projects that she shouldn't be doing.
Right.
She's in France on vacation. There's a picture of her with the Eiffel Tower between her hands like this.
Right.
And she's at the beach with her kids.
Sure.
With a hurt shoulder, she's not supposed to be doing these things. That case got resolved in a hurry.
Yeah.
Had another
I'm
slip and
sure.
fall case where the gentleman went to McWayne Center and they have this pulley presentation where you see how pulleys work and how they lift weights. And he's on the pulley chair and he's pulling himself up.
Right.
Problem is he had a torn, quote unquote, torn rotator cuff. That case also got settled in a hurry. So workers' comp, slip and fall cases, there's numerous car wreck cases out there where individuals have restrictions and they are playing softball for the company, or they're going on a vacation, or they are building their house and bragging about it on their social media sites. And those cases tend to refute the veracity of what they're saying and the nature and extent of their injuries.
Well, we've certainly had our fair share of those type of situations, and I've written about it and posted that we had one case where a gentleman, in our opinion, cost himself 6 figures because of what he posted on his Facebook page as opposed to what his claims were in the case. I haven't seen it in Alabama, but I've read many cases in Ohio and Arkansas and other states where criminal prosecutions for criminal fraud have been brought by folks who have done just these very same things.
Yeah, I've seen them in California. I've seen them in Arkansas. It's probably the same cases you've seen.
Yeah.
I have not seen one in Alabama either, but it's gonna happen probably sometime soon when the right case gets out there.
I know that these may be some common sense tips, but if you would, talk for a minute about how you advise your clients about dealing with social media when they have, even if it's just an insurance claim or if the case is in litigation. What do you tell your clients?
Sure, I tell my clients, and the sooner I get to meet my client and know my client after the incident took place, the better off everybody is. The sooner you're involved in a car accident, a workers' comp injury, it's important to see an attorney as soon as possible so you're advised all the way through. So I tell my clients when I meet them, number one is, if it's early enough on in the situation, don't put anything about the case on social media. Don't say who your attorney is. Don't say how you're hurt. Don't say how good you're feeling, how bad you're feeling. Don't put anything on social media, period, at the end. If you have something on social media, and there's a fine distinction between deleting it and taking it down, take it down, but make sure it's preserved. Do not delete something. Again, nothing is ever deleted,
Right.
but some judges, because of the effort it takes to get information that's deleted, will treat a deletion as a deletion and not make you go through the process. Because if you have something up and you delete it, that's a spoliation of evidence, and that can get you in a lot of trouble. There was a case, in fact, out of Virginia a number of years ago where a client's legal assistant advised the client to take down and delete some social media pictures, and a multi-million-dollar verdict got reversed, and the lawyer got disbarred for 5 years for his legal assistant telling the client to take it down.
And hefty fines
And there were
against both.
$700,000 of sanctions, $500 against the lawyer, $200 against the client. So it's serious. If it's up there, take it down. Don't delete it. Make sure it's available when the other side asks you to produce it, because they will ask you to produce it. One other thing I want to mention is confidentiality.
Sure.
Lawyers and clients have confidentiality. There's also confidentiality in various proceedings, whether it's mediations, whether it's where there's a settlement and there's a confidentiality agreement. It is so important not to put up on social media confidential information. My lawyer told me my case is worth $1 million. Don't do that, because it'll get you in trouble down the road. Also, if you settle a case and there's confidentiality, don't breach it. Tell your family members not to breach it. There was a case out of Florida where a headmaster at a private school had an age claim, and he settled for $80-some thousand, got home, told his daughter we settled the case. Daughter goes on Facebook and says, Mama and Daddy settled their case for $80,000. We get to go to Europe now. The other side immediately filed a motion to set aside the mediation agreement, and the court said, you don't get your money, case dismissed.
Yeah.
So it's serious.
It's the harsh reality of doing things that I guess come naturally to folks. They want to share their emotions. They want to tell the world things, but you really have to fight against
So
doing
so many people live on social media. So many people live their life on social media. I've been to this restaurant. I eat this.
Right.
I'm going on vacation.
Right.
All that is well and good, but if you have a case pending, don't do that. Let me hit a little bit on employment
Sure.
issues, since I do a lot of
Absolutely.
employment law. From an employer standpoint, if there's any employers out there who see this, it is so important that the owners and the supervisors are also fully aware of social media. I've been involved in a number of cases defending an employer where the supervisor may have had a Confederate flag as his home photo on Facebook, and there's been a claim of racial harassment, racial discrimination. It is so difficult to defend a case like that when Exhibit A, blown up to 10 by 10 in front of a judge or jury or mediator, is the homepage of the supervisor with the Confederate flag, or the jacked up pickup truck with the Confederate flags flying
Sure.
on the back.
Sure.
Being exhibit number one, it's difficult to defend those cases. And employers need to understand that their supervisors and the owners are also subject to investigation and review, and your social media sites will be looked at.
Well, that's all very sound advice when it comes to social media, Dan. We sure appreciate it.
And let me end with one more story.
Absolutely.
And just
Absolutely.
to, then we'll finish it up. Since we're coming up on football season, Fernando Bryant was an Alabama player a number of years ago, played in the NFL for, I think, 8 or 10 years.
Sure.
Got into coaching high school. He got a job offer at a religious school over in Georgia. Accepted the job. His wife was and may still be a reality show star. So they're at a reality show promotion, and him and his wife are standing there and have their picture taken. They're both holding a bottle of alcohol, unopened. They're not drinking.
Right.
He gets hired at this religious school, a Christian school in Georgia. Within a week, a parent complained, and they fired him because of inappropriate conduct. So even something you may think is innocuous, is innocent, as holding a bottle of beer or a bottle of wine, can get you in trouble in the workplace and cause you to lose your job. So be careful out there.
It may not even have been posted to his wife or his individual accounts. Somebody may have tagged them or even seen it in some other way and still gets them in trouble.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. Well, Dan, that's all very solid advice. We appreciate you sharing your experience and knowledge on that. How can folks get in touch with you if they want to further this
Sure.
conversation?
They can call me. My phone number is 205-902-9005. You could email me at danielburnick@gmail.com, DanielBurnick@gmail.com, or you can visit my website, danielburnick.com. I'd love to hear from you, talk to you, answer any questions you may have.
Dan, I've known Dan for over 20 years, and he is one of the foremost experts when it comes to employment law, social media, and the like. We appreciate you guys spending a few minutes with us today. Of course, I'm Bernard Nomberg with the Nomberg Law Firm. We can be reached at nomberglaw.com. We also have Facebook and Twitter pages, and our phone number is 205-930-6900. Thank you again for spending a few minutes with us. We'll see you next Tuesday. We're going to be over at the Birmingham Barons ballpark interviewing Jonathan Nelson, and that should be another fun interview. Y'all have a good rest of your day.